everybody. This is Jim Cornette, pro wrestling legend, and you're listening to the Book in the Territory Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast.
This is the artist formerly known as Daryl Van Horn, James Mitchell, the Sinister Minister, and I'm here to let you know I would rather slam my cock in a car door than to miss the dulcet tones of Hard Body Harper, my illegitimate son, on Booking the Territory podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of Booking the Territory and the Smoky Mountain Rasslin podcast. This is Smoky Mountain Wrestling, this is Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling podcast, but it is Smoky Mountain Wrestling, episode 139, September 24th, 1994. I'll be damned if we are really getting close to the end of 94, and I can't believe how fast all this is going. With all that said, I'm sitting here with Doc Turner, and Harper could not make it. Little minor emergency with work. So, hey, we're here, though, and we're pumping these things out as usual, and we don't miss. At least, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Doc, how are you?
We don't miss. You miss every shot you don't take in life, pal. We're here, and dude, it is early in the morning, man. 6:30. Once we shed that deadweight Harper that likes to roll in at 15 minutes late, we could start 30 minutes early. How about that shit?
Deadweight, huh?
So excited to be
Deadweight.
Yeah, so excited to get. Well, that is the strength of being the fabulous Freebirds, is that we can send any combination of the two of us out to the ring, and everything's going to be okay. We can handle our business, right?
Well, there is something to the Freebird rules, which is now New Day rules, if you ask me. By the time this airs, this is after WrestleMania, so I have no clue what will happen with Kofi Kingston. But we're not here to talk about that. I just wanted to make mention.
Hush up for a second. I need to be serious for 1 second. I think a few weeks back, I think you came up with the idea that you're going to raise some Patreon prices and add a new level, right? We decided to do at the $5 tier. You and I and Harper would do the Clash of the Champions that are coming up, along with the pay-per-views that are coming up in 1988 and JCP. And then you and I actually are planning on doing some other stuff too. We just haven't promised it yet. But the thing is, I technically didn't raise it. I just said we would give more at that tier. If somebody wants to do the $2 and just get the world class shows and the video reviews, they can stay at that tier. But yeah, to a point, we added to the $5 tier. Well, I think it got confused, and I'm afraid it gave poor Tommy Noe a stroke.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought this up, because I have the last shows we did for Smoky Mountain, I knew about it at that point, and I didn't plug it, and I feel like an asshole for.
You're plugging a stroke? What the hell?
Well,
I'm the heel, right? Okay.
You know what I mean. Plugging the fact that he's got a GoFundMe.
Let me help you. Let me help you here.
Okay.
Hey, Tommy, we're real sorry that happened to you because we raised our prices. Get well soon, little buddy.
So you're just gonna be an asshole?
I did get well.
Okay. Tommy, he can't help himself. That's Doc's way of saying he really does want you to recover. If you want to contribute to, and please do so, contribute to Tommy Noe's recovery and stroke, as you heard on the Jim Cornette Experience a couple weeks back, go to tinyurl.com/Tommy Noe Recovery. That's Tommy Noe Recovery. Again, it's tinyurl.com/Tommy Noe Recovery. That's Tommy with 2 M's, and Noe is Noe. And I'm going to put the link in the show notes and show description. So get well soon, Tommy, because we need you. You have been a reliable source when it comes to certain things on this show. And not only that,
if something happens to him, how will we know how Smoky Mountain ends?
He's probably got a lot of insight, though, into. I mean, Jim's talked about it. It's not like we haven't heard it from Jimmy, but it's also cool when you get like other perspectives on, the last night and all that stuff, because I'm almost certain he was there. I believe he's there till the end. So, again, it's tinyurl.com/Tommy Noe Recovery. Doc, with all of that said, do we get into this week's episode?
I definitely think that is the best course of action at this point.
Yeah, I think so too. So, again, this is episode 139 of Smoky Mountain Wrestling, September 24th, 1994. Les and Bob open up the show, and Mike needs to start the recorder, the video recorder, that is. So,
are you talking about yourself in third person?
yes, because I get to rolling, and then the video recorder's not going. Because I don't really record the opening on the video. There's no point to it. We're just bullshitting half the time. So there's no video to accompany it. Oh, and Doc, since freaking Skype is working now, how about I turn on the screen share so you can actually see, the video of what we're doing here.
Well, that does sound like a blessing.
Yeah, can you see the New Jack and the Gangsters right there?
Oh, I can. They're about to. They got that poor white boy by the head.
Assassinate a white boy. A perfectly good.
Hey, why are you laughing? That's not funny.
That white boy's about to get dealt.
White boy. That's not funny at all.
Anyway, Les and Bob, they open up the show. It's the wild scene from Johnson City again. No need to rehash it. Also, Les tells us it's Lance Storm versus Boo Bradley for the TV title. Beat the Champ TV title, that is. Doc, anything from the opening?
No, not a thing, actually.
I agree. So then we go to the Gangstas versus Anthony Michaels and Brian Logan are the first matchup, and we got New Jack and Mustafa. They win with ease and put the X on Anthony Michaels' forehead. That's what they're showing right there on the video. They put the X on his forehead.
Hold on.
What?
I got a timestamp I need you to get to for me here. Can you get it over to 2 minutes and 26 seconds? It's the Gangstas entrance.
Well, that's 2:17.
All right, watch their entrance and watch the little boy to our left, their right. I need to see this on a bigger screen than my phone. Okay. I thought that kid was shirtless eating nachos sitting there. I was like, man, put a shirt. Okay.
You know, little white kids can do that. They can go shirtless and not get in any type of trouble. You know what I mean?
What kind of trouble do other children get into for being shirtless?
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Anyway. Okay. So there's Anthony Michaels with the X on his forehead for losing. Let's go now to the Gangstas. They're going to cut a promo. This is the first promo of the episode. And let's hear what New Jack and, I guess, Mustafa have to say.
187. There you have it. And now let's go to Bob Caudle and the Gangstas.
All right, Les, here they are. New Jack Mustafa, the Gangstas. Any way you look at it, the rock and roll, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, they're not going to be pushover.
Let me tell you something. Rock and Roll Express, when you got in the ring with us, what'd you think? You thought we was soft? You thought we was easy? You thought maybe we was cotton pickers? Wrong. Maybe you thought you had some homegrown Negroes? Wrong. Maybe you thought you was gonna be able to do to us what you done did to everybody else. Well now, son, you in for a fight. You in for the fight of your life. Some of these folks better get the last look at you, because when we get a hold of you one more time, we gonna hurt you. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what I got to bring in the ring. We gonna hurt you. I'm out for one thing. I want to hear some bones breaking. I want to see some eyes being pulled out their head. I want to see some teeth being knocked out. I ain't coming here to play. I'm coming here to get paid, but most of all, I'm coming to put an end to a myth. That rock and roll was created by some Caucasian with a guitar up on some hill in Kentucky. Wrong. We created it. We just let you borrow it for a little while. Rock and roll, we gonna borrow you for a little while. And we gonna beat you like your mama should have beat you a long time ago. We gonna beat you like your slave owners' ancestors used to beat us. That ain't gonna happen no more. All I got to say, kiss your ugly kids goodbye, smack your fat wife, and get ready. Bring your white butt to New Jack and Mustafa, cause boys, you in for a treat. And it's not long when we get you, you better know you been got.
Ooh, fans, what a collision that one is gonna be. A rock and roll and a Gangstas. We're gonna be back right after this.
Harper hit the tagline.
I just got the feeling Bob Caudle right there walking in the back as usual going, Jimmy, I think this is my last taping.
At least New Jack doesn't push him like half the roster has started to do, which we can get into later. But
yes,
man, okay, so I like the visual of the noose, but that noose ain't hanging nothing, man. And I'm not an expert on nooses because that's not my thing. But that noose didn't look like it was going to do much.
What do you mean? It looks like a piece of crap, piece of rope?
Yeah, it was a flimsy little piece of rope. But when he tossed Cotton in the air, you popped.
I came up. Well, it was funny when he first cut to it because Mustafa's like, "Hey, go man, hanging tonight." He's got like that weird scream. And Cottle's face when New Jack said, "You think we was coming here to be some cotton pickers?" Like Bob Cottle, if you watch him again, he's like, he's got this look on his face like, what the hell did he just say?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, New Jack says he's out for one thing, some bones breaking, some eyes poking out. He's going to put an end to this myth that the white man also created rock and roll. White man stole it from the black man. I don't know. They're going to beat them like the slave owners used to beat our ancestors, is what he said. Holy shit.
Yeah, I wonder in this area though, and I don't know this for sure, but I wonder if rock and roll is even too much for these hill folks. Does it need to be country music somehow? Because I don't know if these people like rock music or country music. It's hard to say because they're so country out there. But that's a great line. That was once again excellent promo, just full of emotion. It's about getting paid and breaking bones.
Look at Bob. Look, hold on. I didn't mean. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, well, he's like, kiss your fat wife and your ugly kids goodbye, and bring yourself to us.
Watch Bob Cottle right here when he's about to do the cotton. The look, just look at Bob Cottle's face. He's like, "What the hell, Jimmy?" Like you could see it going through his mind. Look at him.
Whoa! Why is there cotton on the floor?
He's looking down. He's wiping his glasses.
Dude, Bob looked like he was looking at that like I'm used to seeing black people pick it up, not throw it down.
Look at him. He's got this look on his face. Like, what the fuck is going on? This isn't Mid-Atlantic Wrestling. Where am I at? What's going on here?
And Mustafa always looks like the crazy cousin in the black movies in the mid-'90s that you better go hug his neck while he's out of prison because he's probably going to be back soon.
Jesus Christ. All right, let's
Man, did you see I missed this, but back in the match, you don't have to go back there, but I thought Les did something really good on commentary when he said he was asking if the gangsters are just bluffing being tough to cover up flaws that we don't know about. And I think that's a great line because they're still green and learning. So if that one line really stuck out to me.
Yeah, it ties into the reality of what they are at this point. They're fighters. They're not really wrestlers, which they're living with anyway. And they're stating every way. They're promoting. I mean, they're not hiding from the fact that they're fighters and not wrestlers. But it's funny that Les does say that on commentary. I mean, he was spot on. He's calling it like it needs to be called with these two, and that's a positive. All right, Doc. Anything else?
Man, that was great.
We then go to a replay of the Dirty White Boy versus Mike Moraldo from last week, where Bedlam interfered and Dirty White Boy won by DQ. White Boy got whipped. He got beat with the belt before taking it from Corny and dealing out some lashes to Corny and Bedlam. I don't really have anything from it because, again, it's a replay, and I hate to spoil things for y'all in this episode. There's some replays in this shit. Doc, do you want to keep moving or?
I got my subtraction machine out for all this. I want fresh, hot, new content. Oh, but there's the Dirty White Boy, and he's out wearing a black baseball cap, and he's not happy. And can you blame him, really? You get slapped with a belt, man. You remember being a kid. That shit hurt.
Ripped your skin open. All right, let's go to White Boy then right now. He's out there with Bob. This is after they replayed that segment from last week. He's got a promo he's going to cut.
Right here with us now, our heavyweight champion, the Dirty White Boy, who last week got whipped right in the ring by Jim Cornette and Bruiser Bedlam.
I have never in my life been so humiliated the last time I got a whooping with a belt. My mama did it. And Jim Cornette, you look nothing like my mama because my mama is a pretty woman. Now what's going to happen, Jim Cornette, is you're going to send Bruiser Bedlam out after the Smoky Mountain heavyweight title because you've been running around whining and crying. I've never had a heavyweight champion in my stable. Well, don't expect to get one now, big boy, because Bruiser Bedlam, y'all are wanting a match for the belt. That's all right, you got it. I got a match coming up, except there's just a little stipulation that goes along with this. Bruiser Bedlam, if you beat me, I'll stand in one of these turnbuckles, let them handcuff me, and you can give me 10 licks with a leather strap. But, he's a big butt right here, baby. If I beat you, Bruiser Bedlam, you stand in the turnbuckle, get handcuffed, for 5 licks. That's only 5. I'm taking 10, he's taking 5, right? Not bad at all. Well, guess who's going to get the other 5? Jim Cornette. Whoa, that's bad. I'm going to handcuff you personally to the corner, and then I get 5 licks with a leather strap on your big behind. Can you imagine what I can do with a leather strap and all that lard that's hanging there? Because I'm going to show the world your big booty, and then I'm going to take that leather strap, and with each strap, I'm going to draw blood. I'm going to whoop you, boy, like your mama should have given you a whooping a long, long time ago. But now there's something else. You can get out of the whipping, Jim Cornette. It's easy. All you got to do is say, I quit. Wave your little arms. If they uncuff you, say, I quit. That's it. I don't want no more. I can't handle it. Then you got to leave the town. Got to leave. Got to leave the town that we whip him in. But not only the town, you got to leave the whole Smoky Mountain area, big boy. You got to jump on your mama's plane or a car or whatever she sends for little mama's boy. And you got to carry that big whoop booty on back, never to step foot in the Smoky Mountain area again. And Jim Cornette and Bruiser Bedlam, all you got to do is cinch it up. You want a shot at the gold, Jim Cornette? You want this belt? Well, those are the stipulations to get the shot at the title. Are you man enough? Bruiser Bedlam, big man. I'm pretty sure he's man enough, but Jim Cornette, you are mama's boy. You're a little whiny's mama's boy, and I know you can't handle it. So, gentlemen, you get ready. That's the stipulations. Take it or leave it.
All right, fans, the gauntlet is down from the Dirty White Boy. Whoa, we'll be back right after this.
And after that, Bob Cottle was like, well, maybe, Jimmy, I'll stick around for another episode.
Hey, this is the meat and potatoes wrestling the way it used to be that I like it, Jimmy. We're going to whip some people.
Right. Can't have those black guys out there saying that. That kind of makes me want to not come back. But, okay, now, Dirty White Boy, everything's all right in the world. Okay, what do you have from this, Doc?
Well, first of all, it's just a really good, solid promo. He said booty twice, which we talked about last time, and I don't like him doing that.
Somebody texted Doc.
Yeah, I'm blowing up, man. I'm a busy guy. I mean, Harper's not the only one that's phone blows up at all hours. But when he said lard, am I the only one that had a flashback of Tammy's tips and Margie?
No, I mean, that's...
I miss those Tammy's tips. Those were fun.
Yeah, those were... Doesn't that feel like it was 10 years ago now?
It feels like it was a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Hey, that was shot in Mr. Noe's house, man.
Yeah, no, it feels like it was like, wow, forever ago.
But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. He's out there laying out stipulations. I'm surprised that people didn't pop more on Corny potentially being sent out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's like 400 people there. You got to figure it'd be a little louder, but they just weren't. But, when I was listening to that, it almost sounded like that ECW episode we reviewed when Dreamer got the 10 lashes with the Singapore cane. Because Dirty White Boy's talking about drawing blood from Cornette's fat ass, and Corny Corny's got to say,
You're stealing my point for next week.
Oh, okay.
Well,
thanks, dude.
Probably.
Way to
I'll
jump
leave it alone,
pal.
But,
Thanks.
Well, no, I mean it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what he did there. So anyway, Corny could even say I quit, which not take all the lashes. So I mean that was what they did in ECW, and just saying, I'm not saying anybody stole from anybody. It's wrestling. You got to leverage things. Anyway, all right, Doc. Any other thoughts? That was a good promo, though.
Yeah, it was a good promo. He's the champ for a reason.
Agreed. We go then to a replay of Chris Candido and Boo Bradley versus Storm and Primetime Brian Lee. Remember, this thing ended in a DQ because Tammy hit Primetime with her loaded purse. I don't have anything. Another recap, Doc. So you want to just not blow a gasket just yet?
Oh, I don't want to blow any gaskets, pal.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure. Then we go to Tammy's got Boo on a leash, and Boo is a mess. Oh, my God. Balls. He's just a mess. We go to the next match. It is Boo Bradley versus Lance Storm for the Beat the Champ TV title. I thought this was a solid match between the two future ECW stars. Towards the end, Bradley misses a moonsault. Storm nails Bradley with a missile drop kick off the top rope. Shenanigans ensue. Ref's back is turned. Bradley hits Storm with the chain. Ref doesn't see it, but turns around and Storm loses the title when he's pinned. Primetime tries to help Storm, but Primetime gets beat down and choked before we cut to the commercial. Again, I thought this was a solid little matchup between two future ECW stars. What did you have from all this, Doc?
So Boo is completely insane is the premise, right?
I mean, he's like a wild dog that's not a wild dog.
But as you can see right here on the screen, and I'm glad I hit this at the right time, he's about to throw a moonsault.
Yep.
So we are to believe that he is so insane that he must be leashed, but he knows how to pull off a moonsault. That's kind of funny to me. I'm not complaining. That's something I pointed out. I am a little sad Harper's not here, so we could hear a little Gomer Pyle, danger, danger. I hear a heartbeat, so everybody just think about that in your mind. Here's the thing I wonder, and I'm surprised you didn't say this. I bet nobody called up and complained because they were out there walking a man on a leash.
It's wrestling. Why would they complain?
But I bet people called and complained about the Gangstas getting out there with a noose.
I would, yes. I think I was trying to remember what Cornette told us. I think he said they did get complaints, but they just kind of blew it off.
Man, they need to. I don't care if they did or didn't. At this point, who would argue? And that needs to be part of the story, man. Let's not let facts get in the way of a good story, right?
Well, remember they have the
man
at the bottom of the screen.
Run that back a few seconds. We just saw it, man. Somebody got stuck with a pile driver there.
Wasn't it Boo? Who got hit with it? I'm forgetting that quick. Oh no, that was what's his name got hit with it. The enhancement talent that comes in.
Yeah,
I can't think of this guy's
name.
Boom!
That was a nice looking pile driver, obscured by everybody else. Remember when Orndorff? I bet Batten is still on the floor because remember when Orndorff pile drove him on the floor?
That poor bastard.
He stuck him on the floor, dude. That was a death sentence back in the day.
But like that was how if somebody pile drove you on a basketball floor, I won't say concrete, but a wooden basketball floor back then. You bet you were not getting up. And
hey, look, there's Tommy Noah. You better push pause on that for a second. We need to talk about that. Dude, I like later on that they come back and tie that back when Bob comes out later or some point about Candido. Because that is that is all the way back to what, episode 3, 4?
You talking about the pile driver?
Yeah. I mean, that's a callback to the very beginning, which I love those kinds of things where we're going to stay consistent for a long period of time and talk about shit.
Goddamn pronouns, pal. You said, I like when they tie that back. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you talking
the promotion ties new storylines back to old storylines that are even 2 years old.
Yeah.
I just thought we were having a conversation that the people out there, all of our friends, were listening to. So I thought everybody was up to speed on what was going on. But I guess I got to start diagramming fucking sentences and shit.
No, I think the people who watch it on Patreon and they see the video of it, they'll know exactly what you're talking about. But
well, hey,
kind of bounce around.
I'm out here working for the patrons because they're the ones that are paying for this shit. Everybody else is just stealing this shit for free.
I know I've had a few patrons sign up and they've said that. They go, man, I stole long enough for free, man. I have to support you.
There you go. See, we smartened up some marks out there, and they saw the light, and well, Mike appreciates it. I just said it's about time. Harper, I don't think Harper cares. I don't even think Harper even knows we have patrons.
He
knows. Harper knows one thing and one thing only. Steven Jaworski listens to this show. That's all Harper knows. Harper's like our Boo Bradley.
That's all he knows. And while I'm thinking about it, I just want to shout out a couple of large patron contributors. Our largest, disrespectfully classy, Marky Blassie, Kyle Riley, and Mike Childry. They're our largest patron contributors monthly. So there you go. Just wanted to mention that to everybody out there. And if you're not a patron, become one. It's tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. The video recaps, the video reviews, all the patron-only content. Everything that Doc and Harper and I do outside of this normal show, along with the world-class shows for as little as $2 a month, you get that. There are higher tiers, but that's the basic one. tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. All right, Doc, are we going to get into this Tommy Noe thing right here?
Yeah, well, first of all, since it's frozen on this screen, where do you get a tie like that? Woo!
Okay,
He's got a white shirt. I mean, technically, the colors are all okay. But that tie, man, it's loud out there. And it's just, that tie wants to fight with the Rock and Roll's 2 shirts that they're wearing. Those garments should all get together and have a triple threat match.
It's almost matching with Ricky's shirt.
And those shirts are terrible that the Rock and Roll's wearing too. So,
God.
I mean, this is just I mean, we need to phone in Queer Eye for the Straight Guy here and really help these 3 out.
What do you think that those shirts and gear smell like?
Sweaty pussy.
Okay. So I'm not gonna hit play on this part of it. Basically, they're in the back. They're sitting in a dressing room, and they throw it to the full replay of the wild brawl from last week, where they fought all over the floor in the arena in Johnson City, and then outside into the parking lot.
Man,
Doc,
I want to be serious here for a second. I'm looking at Noe here, and he looks young. And so if you add 25 years to that, that's too young to be having these kind of medical problems. These people do need to go out and probably help this guy out, right?
Yeah, I agree. Tommy's not like an old guy, so
man, you know how back in the day they'd be like somebody would die at like 60 and you were like 22 and you're like, man, that's a long life. And then you get older and you're like, man, that's kind of young.
Dude, let me tell you something.
Now. I need everybody living into their 80s now. Come on.
Let me tell you something. In my eyes, 75 is too young.
Man, you could see it in the distance. Now it's a mountain. You're in the Great Plains and you're looking out to the Rocky Mountains, but you can see it, and you're like,
right. You're just in your mind going, that's
a long way off, but I can still see it.
Well, here's the thing. If you go by and I'm thinking I'm saying 75.
Well, if you do fractions, you get real depressed because you're coming downhill now. It's over.
That's my point. You're more than halfway there if you're talking 75. And
I got to think that's depressing for you. But I mean, I've put up a lot of trophies in the trophy case already, so it's like, man, if I go tomorrow, it's like I had a pretty good run. But for you, right. I can see how that would work. Be kind of keep you up at night.
While you're gonna sit over
there.
Hey,
look at that brawl again. Is this the 4th or 5th time we've seen it?
Good God! I mean, we've seen it a lot, and I don't think people realize.
It was great the first and second time I saw it.
When I say they re-air the full brawl, so they basically for this television episode, they insert 12 minutes is just of this brawl.
That's almost 30% of the show.
Now remember,
if I'm doing quick math here on the fly,
it's 45 minutes without the commercials. So 12 minutes of that was the brawl.
Well, it's 46 minutes technically.
Well, yeah, okay.
So that's 26%. Excuse me.
And we're talking without the local promos, because the local promos will bump it up to about 50 minutes. But
sure.
You're right.
Yeah,
all right. So, okay, after they re-air the Wild Brawl with the Rock and Roll Express, the Gangstas, and all that from Johnson City, then they are in the back for a minute with the Rock and Roll Express and Tommy Noe, and they're going to talk about, I guess, what went down, and Morton starts preaching about respect. Here it is.
Coming to Smoky Mountain Wrestling and introducing themselves to the Rock and Roll Express. So they beat every tag team across the United States, but they never wrestled the Rock and Roll Express. Well, you see, on every time that we have met the Gangsters, we have beat them in the ring. But they said that they know that we can beat them wrestling, but we can't beat them fighting. Well, everybody knows what a fight is all about. And you see what happened in Johnson City, Gangsters, that we're just like you are. We can throw the rule book out the window. It don't matter to us. You see, you have started something that we are going to finish. You see, Gangsters, you tell everybody you want these Smoky Mountain Tag Team belts. Well, I'll tell you one thing. We will hand them to you. Because after the match that we had with you, you'll be glad to give them back to the Rock and Roll Express. What it all boils down to is you have come into Smoky Mountain Wrestling with no respect. No respect for the Rock and Roll Express. And one thing is for sure, one thing you can guarantee on, that when we get through with you, you're going to have more than respect for the Rock and Roll Express.
Okay. Doc, your thoughts?
I really like the line, "We're just like you are." Because that's a great line on two levels. One is, hey, we can fight. We can get in there and fight just like you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also going to confuse the hell out of their fans. Wait a minute, y'all aren't like them. We like you guys. You are on the right side of things. So there's a couple of different ways you can take that line that cause a couple of different ways to emotions there. And it says to the Rock and Roll is saying, hey man, we can do this too, pal. No steps backwards.
I like that, but I also like he kept using the word respect. We're going to teach you respect. Now, I don't think it was intentional.
I think it was. I think you're thinking about it through the lens of white and black. I think it's through the lens of old and young.
Okay, well, and you actually stole my point. What I was going to say was, I think Morton is thinking of it through, we're the old dogs in the yard. We about to teach you young pups something.
You ever play like a pickup basketball game against some old heads, and like you're out there running around and they take two steps and hard foul you and go, you're not bleeding.
Yes. It's funny. I actually have been doing that lately in the driveway with the 14-year-old, teaching them a little respect. Anyway.
Hey, man, when you're not as fast and you don't have the same kind of wind, you got to make up for that shit somehow.
Absolutely. But I thought of it. So Morton might not mean it in a racially charged way, but I feel like when the people hear Morton say respect, they look at it in that way.
Teach them boys some respect.
Well, they didn't say boys, but I know exactly.
That's what the fan would say.
Well, they're saying something completely more derogatory when they're saying teach them some respect. Yes.
What do they say?
Anyway,
I don't follow. I'm not tracking.
New Jack used it a couple episodes ago. That's what's being said by the Hillbillies. And again, hey, they're wrestling fans. I ain't knocking them. I'm just telling you what I think they were saying.
Hey, man, it's a word you've used in wrestling, so there you go.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's keep moving because we then go to a well, I'm sorry, Doc. Anything else from Rock and Roll right there?
But
right.
I think, they are, man, you couldn't draw up a better opponent for the Gangsters at this point in their career because the Rock and Roll is experienced enough to help guide them through some matches, and they're the perfect embodiment of everything the Gangsters. I mean, they're the Rock and Roll Express, so it's the perfect embodiment of everything the Gangsters are there to put an end to.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, come on. This is it's a shame it didn't make more money than it's a shame it didn't work out better, I guess is the words I'm looking for. Per what Corny said. It worked in the big cities but not the small. But that's neither here nor there. We'll go next to Cornette and Bedlam. Cornette is they're out there. They're with Bob Caudle getting ready to cut a promo. Here it is.
Hey fans, here he is, Jim Cornette, and of course, Big Bruiser Bedlam.
I got a lot of problems. Do you realize that? Number one, they're still talking about Apple Brawl in Paintsville, Kentucky on September 30th. The Rage in the Cage with Tracy Smothers, the Dirty White Boy, and the Rock and Roll Express going up against Bruiser Bedlam, Chris Candido, myself, and Tammy at ringside. and the Gangstas. The Gangstas still won't talk to me. They won't talk to Tammy Fitch. They don't want to associate with none of us. The only thing I do like about them is they want to get rid of the Rock and Roll Express, but I don't know what kind of contrast there's going to be in this teamwork at the Rage in the Cage, and that's one thing you need is teamwork, and I'm afraid we're going to have to wait till Paintsville to find out. But now then, I've got a match today against Bob Armstrong, me and Killer Kyle. You know, yeah, that's on your paperwork. I see it.
But you're not dressed for a match.
Well, I'm going to be dressed in just a minute. I'm going back there right now, and I'm going to put my tights on because I'm going to reveal to you that I'm more of a man than you people realize. I'm going to unleash these big arms and this massive chest and this powerful abdominals, and I'm going to teach Bob Armstrong a lesson today. Me and Killer Kyle, I assure you that. I'm going back to get ready right now. But the worst thing on my mind is this stinking, filthy, dirty white boy and this whipping match. He has gone to Smoky Mountain Wrestling, buttered up whoever this mystery commissioner is, and he's got this match signed where if Dirty White Boy loses, I like this part, that he's got to get handcuffed to the turnbuckles and get 10 lashes with a big, thick, heavy leather belt. Well, I like that. But if Bruiser loses, he gets 5 lashes, and then they're going to handcuff me, and he's going to give me 5 lashes. That ain't happening. That's not happening, Jimmy. That's not happening. That's not happening. White Punk, you're getting it. That's not happening. What is this, Singapore, huh? That's true. Any human punishment. That is unconstitutional. And the only way, if Bruiser should lose, if lightning should strike, and I get handcuffed, and White Boy's lashing me with that big belt, bringing welts up, drawing blood with every lick, the only way that I can get out of it is by saying I quit. But if I quit, I not only have to leave the town, I've got to leave all the Smoky Mountain Wrestling. That's not fair, and I'm going to do something about it. And White Boy, I promise you, something bad's going to happen to you, punk, before we get to that whipping match, because I can't take 5 lashes from that big, fat, no-good redneck. I'm going to get dressed to wrestle.
All right, fans, and while he does that, let's find out more about Apple Brawl 94.
Why is he putting his hands on Bob, man?
He's got to chill out with this putting his hands on Bob, man.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Let's have a serious conversation right now. What would have happened if that shit would have happened in Memphis? If somebody put their hands on Lance Russell like that, or you do Mid-South. So I'll ask you, if somebody came out there and put their hand, what's his name, Reeser, or what's the guy at the booth?
Reeser's the ring announcer.
Yeah, he's the ring announcer. What's the other guy's name?
Boyd Pierce is the.
Boyd Pierce, that's the old coot. So if somebody walked out there and Bob Root pushed Boyd, or Bill Dundee pushed, Lance Russell, what would have happened?
As I say this, somebody's going to then tweet us and say, "Oh, somebody did push him and nothing happened." But
all right, so we're having a conversation off the top of our head. Everybody, keep your fingers off your keyboards. What do you think? What do you think would have happened?
I don't think it would have went over well.
I don't either, because I listen to Jerry Jarrett's podcast because I actually find it most times fairly informative, and he's got some. I mean, everybody's got a view on Jerry Jarrett about payoffs or Memphis or whatever, but he did some pretty innovative things when you go back and you look at the length of it. But one of the things he always says is that Lance was supposed to be the moral compass of the show.
He was.
And he's like, don't sell it if you don't think it's big. Don't lie to the people. And he's the authority out there, for lack of a better term. And so the point I'm making is that that's a shocking visual to push Bob Caudle. And I'm not saying you should never do it, but if we're not going to draw a lot of money with it, don't do it. To me, that seems like a waste. Like, I would have stopped him hey man, come on. Mm-mm.
He did it right there. He's done it multiple times. That one wasn't as bad as the previous one.
But it's funny because it's also Caudle's last taping, so.
Yeah. Maybe, we joke, because, we're playing around when we talk about, Bob Caudle leaving because of the Gangstas. We know that's not the real reason. Corny told us the fact that Bob was getting old. He's up in age. Hell, he's old now, but he's driving in these mountains. He's struggling to make these drives. His wife is old and elderly too, is riding with him.
I think at one point Ron Wright would ride with him, but Ron is not making the shots anymore. And Ron hasn't for a while. So Bob and his wife are riding through these mountains and hills, and it's just, you know how it is, man. We're not Bob's age that he is right here. And you think about long drives. I don't know about you. I used to actually look forward to long drives. Now I'm like, fuck, how long is that going to take? And
let's just stay home, man. That's too much.
Right. So,
I'm high. I'm drunk. I can't do that.
So Bob's up in age, so that's why he left. But I say all that to say.
Yeah. I mean, to me, anything's like that's on the table if it's going to draw money. But what's that going to draw?
Yeah, he. My point is, we joke about him leaving because of the Gangstas and this, but that's not why he left.
He got the last laugh because he's still alive and Bedlam's dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Shit. Holy shit. Oh, boy. There you go. just going unprofessional, man. Oh,
man, you hear him bring up the Singapore cane or talk about, is this Singapore? There's the Singapore cane being brought up.
I know. That's what I was saying. It's directly tied to what happened in ECW.
Man, all fucking.
It's the same shit, dude.
All Paul did was hit copy and then paste into
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
That was 94. Okay, so first off, Paul got that from the incident with the American kid in Singapore.
Sure. So we all know that.
But that was August of 94 that happened in ECW. So this is September. If anything, Jim got that from.
I bet Jim
Heyman.
had no idea that they had done that up there. I bet he was largely unaware.
I would. Well, let me say that. I think my timeline's right. Somebody out there will correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like that was August 94, and I feel like here's the thing. I think the same place Heyman got it from is the same place Cornette got it from, which is they saw it was topical, it was in the news with the kid. So I think they both got it from the same source over there. I don't think Cornette was like, oh, they're doing this in ECW. Let me do this.
No. I don't believe that either.
Yeah,
But the similarities are always interesting to me.
Well, yeah, I agree. Okay, anything else about Corny here and Bedlam?
Nah, bruh.
All right, so we'll keep going. We got another promo. It is not that long. It's Candido and Tammy and Boo Bradley. Candido is out there celebrating that he is he's taking these men out one by one. But I tell you what, let's give this one a quick listen.
They are television champion now, Miss Tammy Fitch, Chris Candido.
Bob Cottle, how good it feels. First of all, Boo Bradley has revenged my loss on TV title to Lance Storm, and my pet right here, Boo Bradley is the new Beat the Champ TV champion. I got revenge against Brian Lee by choking him out with that big chain. I'm knocking him out left and right. And I'm Bob Cottle. I am the greatest wrestler in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I'm taking him out one by one. And whatever the other guy's name was, he wanted to get him my way. He wanted to get him Boo in this Tammy Fitch's way. Well, I put his head right down there, and I apologized him right through the mat. And hold on a second.
Hold on about that.
Well, hold on a second. I'm talking about everything. What is he doing out here?
Bob Armstrong.
This is my time, Armstrong.
Making his way.
I love Candido.
Billy Bob Armstrong, fans.
I'm just here to deliver a message. As you know, the new commissioner is a man who's well informed. I just talked to him, and he asked me to tell you this. You violated the most basic rule in Smoky Mountain Wrestling. You pile drived a man, could have finished his career. And the new commissioner is a man who likes to put his foot down. He don't like people to break the rules. He told me to tell you just this, plain and simple. You are suspended as of right now for 4 weeks.
What are you talking about? Unemployed for 4 weeks?
Now I'm not going to have a check. How do you expect me to
Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
I'm going to call my lawyer.
What is this
That's a word from the commissioner. 4 weeks, fans. He's suspended. We're going to be back. Let's take time out for this.
Okay, I got to say something. So Candido's out there celebrating that he is, taking men out one by one, even though Bradley won the TV title. Bullet Bob comes in, as you heard, interrupts the promo and says Candido is suspended for 4 weeks from earlier in the episode when he pile drove someone during Bradley's match. Now, after all of this, Candido is suspended for a pile driver. Evidently, 4 black men can call someone a white devil and not get suspended and beat the piss out of them. But and threaten to hang someone, but it's Candido who's suspended for 4 weeks. I'm just saying. I think it's funny and it's Southern wrestling at its finest, but I don't know. What do you got, Doc?
Man, you can do whatever you want, but you better not pile drive somebody. That's been I told you earlier, that's been established since like week 3 here.
Hold on.
We're in week
Jack
100.
Mustafa.
We're in week 139. You do the math. Even you can subtract that.
New Jack and Mustafa assaulted Morton with the slapjack. They beat the man with a baton.
But they didn't pile drive him.
I guess. I guess.
And my thing is, this commissioner thing running through Bob's, man, let's get the courts involved on this, man.
I'm just waiting on that. Aren't you?
Okay. We'll just wait on it. It's cool.
No, I mean, we do need to get the courts involved. I mean, there is something to that. So, okay. Let's keep moving. So we go to, well, do you have anything else from the promo or no?
Mm-mm.
Bullet Bob Armstrong's getting ready to take on Killer Kyle with Jim Cornette. And, well, let's just play what happens at the beginning of that match.
I don't know how much of a handicap you might say. It may be a handicap to Kyle to have Cornette into the ring with him.
Physically, you're right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, come on.
Oh, come on.
Wasn't
Wait a
the
minute.
same guy
what
just
the
out
heck
here?
is this? I was just talking to Cornette. Oh, come on.
Oh, this guy is...
Cornette making it. He's got his arm in a sling, something around. We just had him out here talking to him a minute ago.
He's done a lot of things to stay clear of Bob Armstrong, but this one certainly takes the cake.
I got the worst luck in the whole world. I wanted to have this match real bad where I could beat you up, Bob Armstrong. But, dadgum, wouldn't you know it, when I was going down there to put my wrestling tights on, I slipped and I fell down the stairs and I about broke my whole body. And I ought to be over in the hospital in iron lung right now. But I came out here racked with pain and misery just so that I could see Killer Kyle get in the ring and carry on and take you out. And I'm going to tell you something, Bob Armstrong. I'm going to go to the hospital tonight and get all fixed up from these severe injuries. But I'm going to know that you're going to be there, too, in that emergency room, because, after all, you ain't nothing but a stinking coward anyway to begin with.
Look at here. Parks wants a piece of Cornette anyway.
Doc, your thoughts on Cornette's show here?
I mean, haven't you ever had a bad accident happen to you? I mean, shit happens like that sometimes.
I guess. He slipped and fell putting his boots on. So he was standing up putting his boots on?
Okay, so as we're getting to the end for Caudle, let's put over how great he was selling that when Corny came out. That was top-notch work from, I mean, we've celebrated a lot of moments over the years with Dutch and Bob and now Les and Bob, and appreciated the work, but that was really good stuff that he just did there, and Les was part of it too. But let's don't forget our boy on the way out. But yeah, I mean, shit, I was sitting there watching it and I popped when he comes out in that sling and that neck brace. So yeah, that's good stuff. But he seems to be healed now as we look on the video here.
Yeah, so like Doc said, Cornette had nothing's physically wrong with him earlier, but he heads to the ring and he's got a sling in his arm. He's got his arm in a sling and he's got a neck brace and he's limping, which is hilarious. And he claims he's got this terrible luck. Bob got tired of it, as you saw in the video, and Armstrong then attacks him, but then it gets broken up. So long story short, as you saw in the Patreon video, Corny is miraculously healed, comes in, tries to start dealing on Bob Armstrong, but he can't deal on Bob Armstrong because Bob Armstrong eventually fights back. Now a bunch of heels hit the ring, and it takes Dirty White Boy saving Bob Armstrong. So White Boy comes out, makes a save, and he chases everybody off, and then they cut the black, go to commercial. A good little segment, actually, I thought, because Cornette did what he did best back then. He kind of tried to pull the wool over people's eyes when nothing was wrong with him. I thought Corny's promo was really good, crying, and just the fact that he said, I slipped and fell putting my boots on.
I didn't realize people stood up putting their boots on. I guess some people do. But anyway, I thought that was a good little segment. Any other thoughts on it, though, Doc, as we go to the next one?
My only thought was, where's Scott and Steve to make the save?
Well, they're not here right now, so anyway.
Okay. They must be over in Japan with Candido. Because I'm assuming that's where he's going for 4 weeks.
I don't have a clue.
Oh, okay.
But if you do have a clue, email Doc at gmail.com.
That's Harper at nabra at gmail.
All right, so we go then to Dirty White Boy, Bullet Bob Armstrong. They're going to close out the show. Here's a quick promo from them. This is after all the shenanigans that went down with Armstrong, Cornette, White Boy, and all them in the ring.
All right, fans, right now we're with us, the Dirty White Boy, Bullet Bob Armstrong. That's probably the sneakiest trick that Jim Cornette's ever pulled, Bob.
You know, it seems like he's full of surprises this week. But I got a little surprise for you next week. I mean, surprise, and you ain't gonna like it one bit, Cornette, so be listening. I got us a big surprise for you.
Hey, you know, Jim Cornette, Bruiser Bedlam just got a little taste of this strap right here. But what I want to do is get your big booty and just wear it out and just cut the blood right out of it. Amen.
That's going to wrap it up for this week. Next week.
And I like to get a big booty and wear it out too.
Jesus Christ. We know Harper does.
We all do, pal. That's what's probably brought us together, is our love of that big booty, you know?
Okay.
It's the one thing all three of us can agree on besides our love of classic wrestling.
Probably. Thoughts on that closing promo right there from
I
Bob?
don't like him saying booty. Can't help it. But other than that, he's the Dirty White Boy. He's going to get that.
And when he says ass, sometimes they bleep it out and sometimes they don't. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. And that's how they close out the episode. And they tell us next week we can look forward to Bullet Bob's got a surprise that he's going to tell us about. So, Hook is set. And there's a tag title bout and more on next week's Smoky Mountain. But for now, Doc needs to give out some disability checks. But before he does so, make sure you use our Amazon referral link at tinyurl.com/bttamazon. Go buy Bobby Blaze's book, Pin Me, Pay Me. Go buy Death of the Territories by Tim Hornbaker. Go buy anything and everything from Amazon. Just make sure you bookmark tinyurl.com/bttamazon. Give that link to the wives, girlfriends, hoes, and side pieces in your life and tell them to use it each and every time they shop on Amazon, because we know these broads love shopping. Again, it's tinyurl.com.
Hey, pal, I guarantee you, I got a delivery from Amazon every day this week.
Are you kidding or being serious?
Didn't remember the story I told you earlier this week about spring break?
Oh,
how do you think you get there without getting a box at your door every day?
Honestly, I was trying to figure out how the hell you got to that much.
Right. Let's just kayfabe that. Let's kayfabe the rest of that.
Yeah, even then, that's a lot of Amazon deliveries. Good
right.
God, I'm glad my wife ain't that
but
bad.
You'll be able to know real quick if she's using the link, because you expect to see a pretty big uptick in our in our account after that shit.
Again, it's tinyurl.com/bttamazon. Great way to support this show without spending anything extra. Like, seriously. Okay, Doc, we disability check time. You go ahead.
All right. Well, so here's the thing. For the new fresh content that we were exposed to today, I thought it was all really good and I liked it. The amount of recaps, while making it easier to recap the show, on one hand makes me happy, but on the other hand, as a viewer who wants more content, 12 minutes, that's not going to cut it for me. So I'm going to have to make some subtraction. So I'm going to say 7.7.
All right, and I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm not doing disability checks anymore. You know why? I want to hear from listeners out there what they would give it as far as disability checks. So send it to the show and say why at BTT_podcast on Twitter. I'm going to try something new. Or do it on Facebook if you're in the Facebook group, which is just search Booking the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast, something like that on Facebook. And you can rate the show there. I want to try something new with it. I just think that's a better usage of the disability checks. I want to hear from the people. I want to hear from the Army. So there you go.
When have you ever heard from the people and had a good experience?
A lot of times. I didn't say I'm going to respond to every one of them, but I mean,
that's a key development.
Well, no. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, I hear from a few people who want to know, or who have their rating, but I'm figuring, hey, you're the viewer and you're the listener, just like us. So what do you think this episode got?
Well, I just told them what the number is. So
if it's lower than that, they're wrong, and if it's higher than that, they're wrong too.
Well, this is like an open book test for them.
Okay. All right. We also need to do the government cheese. Remember, become a patron at tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. That is the best way to support this show because you get tons of extra content. At the $2 level, there is over 160 plus episodes. If you do more than that and bump up to the $5, you actually can get even more stuff. So there you go. Please consider it. Become a patron of BTT. tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. Government Cheese Award time, named by Shard Johnson, longtime listener. And if it ain't going to New Jack, I don't know what else to say. So, Jack, you are getting the government cheese from me. Doc, who is getting it from you?
Man, we don't agree on much in life, but how could it be anybody else?
He was talking about picking cotton, bro.
He was throwing cotton while he was doing it, too.
And the look poor old Bob Cottle gave when he was doing that still was greatness. So, yes, he's getting it.
Absolutely. It is hard to come up with a reason to not give it to New Jack these days.
Yeah, I mean, honest to God, I really don't know how you don't. It's just kind of one of those things. So, it is what it is. But and before we get out of here, make sure you follow us on Twitter at BTT_podcast so you can send us your disability checks. Also, don't forget to check out some friends of the show, the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing with ROH's Brian Malonis and Mike Crockett. They do their show every single Monday. Also, check out Our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast, the northern version of BTT, slightly classier, a little bit more professional, as Joe and Quinn give their take on the WWF side of things. Again, it's Our Vantage Point and Wrestling Podcast About Nothing with Brian Malonis every single Monday. Check those shows out. Support them. They support us, so please support them. Good stuff from those guys. I think that's all I got. I think we covered everything in this week, Doc. I think it's been a fun show. Please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and iTunes if you haven't already done so. Doc, do you have anything else before we hit what's Steve Austin say?
We got to ride off into the sunset, Teddy.
Yeah, so, Doc.
Hey, he doesn't do a show anymore, though, so why are we talking about him?
He does shows. He re-airs.
That ain't doing a show. That's just old stuff. Just tired, old, musty, dusty content that's not going to get it done in 2019, pal.
Okay. So with that said, who's going to hit the book it bitch line? You
I can do it. Let me do it.
Like a kid. I bet you little Latrell does that shit in school. I'm going to do it. Okay, go ahead. Hit the tagline.
Book it, bitch.
Before we get out of here this week, I just wanted to mention a couple of important things. One being, yes, the new Patreon service at the $5 tier. Remember, you're going to get the Jim Crockett Promotions pay-per-views and Clash of Champions in 1988. You will also get Lance and I's Q&A sessions that we get from listeners such as yourself. So if you have questions, submit them at bookingtheterritory@gmail.com. I thought about using Twitter, but it would be just too many places for me to look for questions. So please use bookingtheterritory@gmail.com for the Q&A type episodes that Lance and I will do. And remember, the questions can be NWA related, Mid-South related, WCW related, with the stuff we've already covered. And what else was there? World Class, of course. Can't forget about World Class. And as I'm asking you to possibly bump up your Patreon tier, not that you have to, because if you just enjoy getting the world-class shows and the pre-shows and the video reviews, then stay at the $2 tier. It's it's fine. I understand, man. I wanted to offer a little bit more, and Lance and I wanted to offer, and Doc and Harper and I wanted to offer a little bit more for the higher level tier. So there you go. Also, I've said it the last couple of weeks. Over 2 years ago, we first started the Patreon service on Podbean. So, before we get out of here and mention a couple other things, I wanted to just, mention a couple of people that are either at the 2-year mark or near it, or have actually hit the 1-year mark as well. If I miss you, I apologize, but the 2-year anniversary patrons include Marty Howell, Boone Howard, Twit Dust, a.k.a. Dustin, Tim Morecci, the BTT Research Department and Hall of Famer, Wayne G., David DeVries, BTT Hall of Famer, Josh Warren, BTT Hall of Famer, Dan Verner, Coleman 822 is a Hall of Famer, K-Stone 9709, Frog Zeppelin, Voodoo Moon Baby, Mark Wilson at Thin Man Within, Sean Sparks, and at Thin Man Within is a Hall of Fame as well. Patron Sean Sparks, who is at Sparks Third Coast on Twitter, at Spyboy Sports Cap. Alan, thank you for being a Hall of Famer. Drew FN Media, David Cameron, Chuck Erd 58, Slider 91 US Hall of Famer, Troy Anspaugh, the FXC, Jim Vinsky, Steven CG, T-Hog 94 Hall of Famer, SV Pageant Hall of Famer, Moondog, Gerald Green III Hall of Famer. And now I'm sure I missed a name or two because of the move to Patreon. It's a little hard to track how long each member has been. It doesn't allow me to filter it the right way. But all of you out there, I believe if you're not at 2 years, you're close. So thank you very much. And many of you are still using the Podbean Patron service. So if you are, consider the move to Patreon, because, man, there's so much more Patreon offers. And I may be doing something special coming up. I'm just not sure if I can do it yet. But it related to if you make the switch. More news on that coming. If I missed you in this shout out for the 2-year Hall of Famers, just email me, bookingtheterritory@gmail.com, and I'll try to get you fitted into the next shout outs for the 2-year or the 1 year. Okay? So I appreciate that. Also, I want to shout out the Hall of Fame patrons: Kenny Byersdorf, Glenn Abbott at GA WrestleNut, Bobby Murray, Marlon Mueller, a.k.a. at Hef's Pint Point. Can't forget Marlon's Twitter. Josh Warren, Everett Starr, Super Duper Hall of Famer Mike Childry, Super Duper Hall of Famer K_Row86, and Super Duper Hall of Famer, Hall of Fame Disrespectfully Classy Mark E. Blassie, Craig Norman, Johnny on Patreon, the great John Dean at YRC21, Josh Dunn, at Ryan and Auburn, good old Justin, Robert Smith, Joseph Ice, Tim Morecci, the Research Department, Adam Price, Brian Evans, Mark Wilson, Armando Martinez, David Jordan, Jesse Jacobs, Josh Fields, Chris Meyer, Gerald Green III, Mitchell Johnson, Mike Prue, Will Parker, Jeremy Bryant, Classy Alex, Slider 91 US, David DeVries, Frog Zeppelin, SV Pageant, Bill Salsa, Big Rich, God, I always mess this up. Sorry, Alan. At Spy Boy Sports Cap, Ari Miller 39, Dustin Roberts, Jay Shiny, Ruben Espinoza, Merciless Jones, Jesse Lucas, Chris Browning, Justin _Andretti, Coleman 822, Marty Howell, T-Hog 94. Thanks for being Hall of Fame patrons. Appreciate it. Hey, if you are at your 7th month or beyond, because at 7 months at the $9 level or above, you get a t-shirt. If I haven't reached out to you, email me, bookingtheterritory@gmail.com, and I will get it out to you ASAP. It's not on purpose. It's just the move to Podbean, Patreon, it's all messed up. So I can't always tell the exact month you're at. So, again, if you're at your 7th month, reach out to me. I'll get you out your t-shirt. Also, if you're at your 6th month or 12th month at the $20 level, let me know. I'll get you out your next t-shirt, too. And I think that's it related to the t-shirts. If you're at the $9 level, so after you get your t-shirt at 7 months, you get another one once a year. So let me know, and I'll make sure I get you out your t-shirt too, each and every year, okay? And I think that's all I got. Oh, I want to shout out my buddy Mike Prue from the Bottom Line Wrestling Cast. Mike and his buddy JV. They break it down a career of Stone Cold Steve Austin, month by month, weekly as well. They're currently in 1998. They go, they've gone back as far as 96, but they're currently in 98. Dive in, check them out. They are at The Bottom Line Cast on Twitter. You can listen to their show at iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, Google Play. Just search Bottom Line Wrestling Cast and you will find them. That's all I have. Thanks as always for being patrons. Appreciate it. You guys are the best. Couldn't do this show without you. And again, thanks to all the 2-year patrons and above, or 2-year anniversary patrons. We appreciate your patronage. I mean, you help make this show go. So as Hardbody Hopper always says before he gets out of here, book it, bitch.